these tech companies and the social media companies, their job is to create problems and solve problems. And we're using their platforms. In most cases, are free. Of course, there could be a social responsibility there. There should be a moral compass there. But I do believe that we need to take responsibility and parent ourselves and not say, oh, they're supposed to, take care of us.
What was your take on the social dilemma and, your thoughts about how these tech companies are using technology to, in some ways, create addictions? Talk to me a little bit. What's coming up for you on that?
So I want to first say that I did enjoy the documentary and I thought it was well done. And I believe wholeheartedly that that especially Gen Zers have been dealt a tough hand because of technology. Like, I don't know how I would have fared being who I was with this era of social media. Like, I don't know how I would have done that, being bullied and just like all of that. Like, you can't leave it behind. You get in a fight and you lose a fist fight. And there was a few of those I had in my day. It's not just, it doesn't leave the next day. It's not like, oh, next day in middle school, everyone forgot about it. It's like, no, it has 1 million views on YouTube. And it's like, you can't leave behind the stuff that that are in our age, we were able to just leave behind. So there is a definite challenge there, especially for a lot of young people, to make sure that their reputation is strong and make sure that they have this facade that's, there. So I 100% agree with that. The part that I didn't agree with the documentary that I think everyone else might have missed was it almost gave us permission to not take responsibility for our own actions. It's saying that, like, there was one scene in the movie, I guess we could call it, where the little girl breaks open the plastic container with her cell phone so she can go get the cell phone. And the immediate thought in my mind is like, yes, she has an addiction to her cell phone. I have an addiction to my cell phone too. Shoot, like this week when I said no phone, I still was like, all right, I'll check it once a day. It was like there was still this piece of me that's like, all right, I got to at least look at it once a day. So it's better than 200, but it's there was that piece of me. But that is not the little girl's responsibility. I mean, this girl's 12 years old? That is a parent responsibility. So if I'm watching this, I'm thinking, yes, there is this strong addiction of the girl, and then she feels awkward about her ears and stuff. That is mom's responsibility. That is dad's responsibility to parent that kid and not point fingers and say, oh, this big social media company, this big tech company, these ads are controlling the mind of my kid. No. You need to take responsibility for parenting your kid. That's the first thing that showed up for me. The second thing that showed up for me is understanding business. I mean, these tech companies and the social media companies, it's supply and demand. I mean, their job is to create problems and solve problems. And we're using their platforms. In most cases, are free. So if you want to connect with if I want to connect with my family up in New Jersey, I'm using a free platform that someone else created. That is their business that they created. And if they want to use that and I'm using their service and they want to use that to sell me stuff, that's their absolute right to do. And it's just like if I'm entering a store and they have certain restrictions or policies in that store, well, that's their right as an independent business owner to choose how they want to operate their business. So I feel that, yes, could there be a social responsibility of these companies to make sure that they're doing legit work and help make our society better? Of course, there could be a social responsibility there. There should be a moral compass there. But I do believe that we need to take responsibility and parent ourselves and not say, oh, they're supposed to, take care of us. They're supposed to make sure that I'm believing a certain thing or I don't know. I think it gave too much permission to the average person that's watching it to say, that's why I do this stuff. oh, it's not even my fault. It's not even me. It's not my kid. It's not, and it just gives us a chance to escape the responsibility there. That's how I received it. I even talked about this, by the way, Andrew, openly, because I feel like I had a few conversations and I had a few people say, oh, I didn't really think of it in those terms. And I'm like, great. So I don't know if I really want to talk about this openly because I might get ridiculed for thinking differently or something. So I was like, that was Wimpy. Wimpy was showing. I was like, ooh, maybe you should just like not talk about this. But
yeah, well, the truth is, we need people to think differently right now more than ever. I think that a lot of people do kind of succumb to just standard operating procedure. You're given a list of beliefs and it's like, hey, here's the dogma of the day. Like, this is what you have to believe. You have to believe that big tech is out to get you. You have to believe that you're not responsible. You're a victim. You're oppressed. All these different things. It's like, well, what if you challenge those assumptions, right? Because, part of the story is like, if I wanted to be a victim, I could be a victim, right? If you wanted to play victim, you could play victim. Anybody on the planet could choose to play victim. And it's like, well, at a certain point, we got to start drawing distinctions between, truly oppressed people and people who maybe just have had a little bit of a tougher hand. And we got to like make sure that we're good to go there.